Good morning, students. Hopefully you've had a great day. Today I'm going to be going over the STAAR preparation questions for us to get ready for our STAAR assessment coming up in about 2 weeks. Once again, what I recommend is to prepare for this STAAR assessment is one, look at the question like what we're going to do on question number 1. You're going to look at the question, you're going to try to work it, and then after that, you see if you get the right answer. You pause the video, and then you try question number 2. Then you pause the video, and then try question number 3. So with that instructions, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the first question is, which expression is equivalent to 7 square roots of 45? All we're going to do is get on Desmos calculator, and then we're going to go ahead and input on Desmos. So we're going to input 7 square roots of 45. On the next one, we're going to input 12 square roots of 3. We're going to input 35 square roots of 3. We're going to input 10 square roots of 5. And then the next one, we're going to input 21 square roots of 5. If you look at the only same ones are 21 square roots of 5. The answer is letter D. This one is wrong. This one is wrong. This one is wrong. Remember, equivalent does mean equal. So we're going to go ahead and clean up Desmos, and we're going to go on to question number 2. If you look at question number 2, we're going to look at the quadratic function, and the h is, of course, this quadratic function. I'm going to write it in blue. It is a maximum. It is a vertex right here, and the vertex right here is, of course, -4, 1. So that is your vertex. You have an x-intercept of -5, and you have an x-intercept of -3. And then you have a couple of functions. So the easiest thing is to match up the function with this graph. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of all the h of x's, and all we're going to do is input this, this, and this into the calculator, and whichever one matches is your answer. So the way I like to input this is, let me go ahead and put this back. The way I like to input this question is input letter A, -x squared, -8x, -15. And I like to input all of them at the same time. So then that way, if I make a mistake, I can go ahead and go back and check the work, or check to see where I made the mistake, and then not having to input everything. So I like to input all of them, and then after that I take off the colors and I check one at a time. So we go to x squared, +8x, +15, and then we go to x squared, -8x, +15. So you have a mess. I'm going to go ahead and clean it up. The first one that I'm looking at is this red one right here. So again, we look at the vertex. The vertex is -4, 1, which is correct. And then you look at the x-intercepts are -5 and -3, which is also correct. So most likely this one is the correct answer. But again, I want to make sure that I get this one correct. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one out. I look at this one, and it is on the opposite side. It is 4-1. It should be over here, so this one is wrong. I take out this one, and then I'm going to check this one, and this one is upside down. This one is wrong, and letter D is upside down also, and this one is wrong. So the correct answer choice is letter A, and so I triple checked it, and it is correct. So that is answer to number 3. Number 4, we're looking at which expression is equivalent to this right here. So what we do here is we're going to take all the x's and the y's, and we're going to turn them all into x's. So remember, Desmos loves his x's. So we're going to put a happy face next to that because Desmos will like his x's. So then I'm going to go ahead and put this back right here, and then I'm going to check, and I'm going to input the first one. So I'm going to go 1 divided by 3, and I have to press the space, open parentheses, and all I do is copy and change everything to x's. X squared space, and then I go x instead of y right here. Whoops, I'm going to go back. I'm going to put an x here, and then I'm going to close the parentheses, and then I'm going to put the square right here, a to the square, and then I'm going to open parentheses again, and then I'm going to put 2x, and then I do ab right here to the third space, or you can click right there and put x ab to the fourth space, and then you're going to close your parentheses. So then you have your original equation right here, which is 1/3, and I check to make sure it's inputted correctly, and it is. So then I'm going to input every single one of these, and then I'm going to just change the y's to the x's, and then after that I'm going to match up the graph, and the one that matches is your correct answer. For x ab to the 7th space, x ab to the 6th. Then I'm going to put the third one in, and I'm going to put 24 x ab to the 7th space, x ab to the 6th. The third one, letter C, is 4 x ab to the 12th space, x ab to the 8th. And then the last one is 24 x ab to the 12th space, x ab to the 8th. Then I'm going to clean it up, and I'm going to go ahead and look at the first one. I'm going to keep the original one, which is the black one. I want to go ahead and enlarge it on Desmo so I can go ahead and see it, because sometimes you do need to enlarge it so you can see it clearly. And then I'm going to check the first one. First one is not identical, so it is not equivalent. Remember, we're looking for something that is equivalent. So this one is wrong. Then we're going to check the third one. And if you look at it, it's right on top of the graph. So then most likely it is this one. But then I'm going to check the third one. That one is way off. That one is wrong. And the fourth one, I'm going to go ahead and check it. And that one is also way off. So the correct answer choice is letter B. And once again, we are checking to make sure they are identical. They are right on top of each other. The other one was identical, but it wasn't right on top of each other. So we go on to the next one, number 4. What is the range of the function? So again, we want to scratch out the f of x, and we want to just focus on the negative x squared positive 60x, and they're looking for range. And remember, the keyword or key letter for range, the keyword or the key letter for range is always your y. And the way you remember it is Rx, and then if they would ask you for domain, it is dx. Let's go back here. It's not Rx, sorry, it is Ry. So the way you remember it is dx and ry. Ry is like right toast. Ry, range goes with y, domain goes with x. So all we're going to do is we're going to input this into Desmos, and we're going to let the Desmos do the work for us. So then I'm going to clean up Desmos, and I'm just going to input the equation. Negative x squared positive 60x, and then I'm going to press my house. I can't find it, so I'm going to go ahead and decrease it. I can see my graph, so I'm going to go look at my ordered pair. My ordered pair is 3,900. Do remember that when we deal with this, we have 30,900. Do remember that that is the vertex. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of, this is the x and this is the y, but remember that we're looking for the range. So it is your y. So automatically A is wrong and B is wrong. We are going to look at only 900, 900. So now you have a 50-50 chance to get it right. Now we're going to look at all real numbers that are greater than 900 or less than 900. Remember, we are looking for range, which we are looking at this graph. And let me go ahead and put this back. And we are looking at this graph. Let me clear this. And let me go ahead and enlarge this real quick so you can see it. And we are looking at all the numbers less than. If you look at the graph, it is going down. So this graph is going down, and we're looking at greater than or less than. Greater than is not correct. The answer choice is letter D, all real numbers that are less than 900. If you look at this graph, 900, all numbers are less than 900. But if you look at the domain for this one, this would be a domain of all real numbers. So that's how you do that problem. So let me go ahead and clear it really quick, so then that way you can see the problem. And I'm going to look at question number 5. So the counselor is asking that in hours, and they give you a table. So the way they're asking for a correlation coefficient, to remember the hours worked is your X and the overall is your Y. So all you're going to do is input this into decimals and let decimals do the work for us. So I'm going to put this back to right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my table function. And I'm going to get my table function. And all I'm going to do is input these numbers into decimals and then let decimals graph it for you. So then I'm going to put in 30. And all it is a matter of inputting. And then we have 27, 77. And we have 25, 83. We have 16, 87, and then you have 20, 90, and then you have 12, 94. And then I'm going to press the little leaf right here. And it is a linear regression. I'm going to look at my table. And I can't see it anywhere, but the graph is really, really, really tiny. But what we're really focused on this one is really looking at right here on the equation next to the X is whether it's a positive or a negative. You'll be able to determine it is a negative, and you're going to look at the correlation factor. It is going to be a strong negative. Remember, the closer to 1 it is, the stronger it is. You're looking at 81 cents and 90 cents, so then you'll see that the correlation factor means that it's a strong negative just by looking at that. So that is how you figure out that problem right there. So let me go ahead and switch this over right there. So once again, by looking at this right here, it is a negative. We know automatically C is wrong and D is wrong. And then we're going to look if it's a weak negative or a strong negative just by looking at these correlation statistics right here and right here. You'll see it's a 90 cents and 81 cents. So if it was 0.01, that would be a weak. I would say anything like 0.09 is a weak. These are weak. But if you're looking at 0.80 or 0.70, which this one, or even 0.90, these are all very, very strong. So this would be a strong negative letter choice. It would not be a weak. And then you would determine by the slope being a negative and the statistics being right here, being very strong. So that should take care of that problem, just by learning how to input it into a decimals calculator. So we're going to look at question number 6, which statement about the graph of y equals 16, 0.5x is not true. So we're going to look at this, and all we're going to do is input this into decimals and let decimals do the work. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one back right here, and then I'm going to input this into decimals. So then I'm going to put 16, open parentheses, 0.5, close parentheses, and I'm going to put AB raised to the x. So it's got to be like this. We know our exponential, this is an exponential equation. So then I'm going to come here, and then I'm going to say, well, what is my y-intercept? My y-intercept is 0, 16. And then I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to go ahead and say, well, my y-intercept is 0, 16. This is a true statement. So remember, they're looking for one that is not true. So then this one is false. You already have a 1 in 3 chance of getting it right. We're going to look at the next one, the asymptote. The asymptote on this, remember, it's where the duck passes, where the duck encounters a fence. And you're going to look at the duck, and the duck is not going to pass a fence, and you're going to see where it is consistent. And I would recommend to drag your thing. Your asymptote is 0. So y equals to 0 is your asymptote. And then y equals to 0, they're saying, is your horizontal asymptote, which is another true. So again, it is true. And we're going to look at the graph. It is a decreasing for x. And we're going to look at this graph. And it is actually decreasing. When you do the x, it is decreasing. But we're going to look at the last one, where you're going to go ahead and see the x-intercept is 0.5, 0. The x-intercept, it doesn't really have an x-intercept. If you look at x 0.5, 0.5 is way up here. And if you look at 0.5, it is about 15. So that is the only false statement. This one is a true statement, so that is false. So the answer choice is letter C. So let me go ahead and clean up Desmos. Let me put him back in his place right here. And I'm going to go ahead and get the next problem on board. So then I'm going to go ahead and go to this one, and it says, which solution set best represented by the inequality? We're going to look at this inequality, and we're going to first see that it is, this is where 0 is. Remember, it's facing this way, it is positive. If it's facing this way, it's negative. So you're going to look at this right here, and this is what you're going to graph into Desmos. But before we do that, we're going to determine whether it's positive or negative. So this is going to be a positive because it is facing that way, like this. So this is a positive on the number line. It's also a solid because if it has a line underneath, it is a solid. If it didn't have a line like this, if it had a line like this, then it would be dashed, or it would be called dashed, or it would be dotted, or it would be a line like this. This would be a solid. So automatically you know that the graph is right. Now, how do we do this? We're going to go ahead and input this into Desmos. And remember, that's facing that way. So the way you do that is y is greater than or equal to 1/2 x. You know it's going to be shaded on the top, and it is going to be a solid. So let's go ahead and input this into Desmos and let Desmos do the work for us. So I'm going to input 1 divided by 2 space x minus 2. And then I'm going to press my house, and I'm going to see my graph right here. So I see my graph is 4, 0 is my x-intercept, and y-intercept 0, So then what I'm going to do in purple is I'm going to go ahead and plot it. And right here I'm going to plot the first one, and I'm going to drag, and then I'm going to go ahead and plot the second one. And that right there is my line. And my line is not perfect. It's going to be a solid line. And that looks like an ugly line, but it's going to be right there. The test will allow you to drop it. So that would be your graph. And then this one would be your solution set. And remember, we said it was pointing towards the positives. So we're going to go ahead and shade everything on top of this inequality, which is up there. So that one should take care of that problem for you. So again, it is a solid because of the line, number 1. Number 2, you're going to graph the x-intercept, y-intercept. That will allow you to graph. So that is number 2. This is a 3-point question. And your solution set is going to be shaded on the top over here. So that one should take care of that one. If we look at number 8, we're going to go ahead and look at number 8. Which function best represents a relationship with the graph? So again, we're going to look at the features right here. Is the x-intercept at -3 and the y-intercept is -5. So what I would recommend is to graph this one, graph this one, graph this one, and graph this one, and go ahead and match the graph. That's all you're going to do. So let's go ahead and do that together. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in its place, and then I'm going to graph every single one of them. So I'm going to input them, and now it's a matter of inputting. I would recommend for you to try it and see which one you get correct, and then check your answer to make sure you got it right. Space to the x minus 5, and then I'm going to put this one in, negative 3 divided by 5, space x minus 3, and then I'm going to put the third one in, negative 5 divided by 3, space x minus 5, and negative 5 divided by 3, space x minus 3. So again, I have a mess, and I want to clean it up and check one at a time. Remember, I'm looking for one that has an x-intercept of negative 3, one that has a y-intercept of negative 5. So I'm going to check the first one. So let's check the first one. It's got an x-intercept of negative 8.3, so automatically I would say that one is wrong. And I'm going to check the second one. This one has an x-intercept of negative 5 and an x-intercept of negative 3. Not really quite. This one kind of, but not really. So I would still say this one is wrong. So then I'm going to check the third one, and I would check my x-intercept of negative 3, and that is correct, and the y-intercept of negative 5, which is correct. So this one most likely is your answer, but I want to check letter D. And this one has an x-intercept of negative 1.8. This one is automatically wrong, so the correct answer choice is letter C. So let me go ahead and clean this one up, and let me go ahead and do the next one. So number 9. This one's an easy one. The two hikers at the same trail. There's a system of linear equations. Which value best represents the hours of the two hikers? So this is where they both meet. And then all you're going to look is you're going to look for a number that is right there, and we're looking at time as it being hours, so it is about from 1 to 2, 1 point something, and the only answer choice is letter B. Once again, I recommend for you to try the problem first and then pause the video, attempt it, and then check your answers. If we're looking at number 10, number 11, and number 12 are all similar, but again, you're going to turn everything into x's. So remember the f of x, we want to go ahead and get rid of it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this into decimals, and it's just going to be a matching game. So I would recommend to do number 10, number 11, number 12, and then pause the video, try them out, get your answers, and then check them to see if you got them right. So let me go ahead and put this one back, and then I'm going to input this into decimals and let decimals do the work. 6x squared minus 23, and then you're going to match up the graph and see which one is matching. So that is 1. Then I'm going to input the next one, and all it is a matter of inputting. So it's going to be 3x minus 7, close parentheses, open parentheses, 2x minus 3, close parentheses, and then I'm going to go ahead and input the next one. So it's going to be 3, open parentheses, x minus 1, close parentheses, open parentheses, 2x minus 7, close parentheses, open. So do the third one, 6x, so it's 6x minus 7, close parentheses, open parentheses, x minus 3, close parentheses, and then I'm going to go ahead and do 3, open parentheses, x minus 7, close parentheses, open parentheses, 2x minus 1. Close parentheses. Now I have a mess. I'm going to go ahead and clean up decimals. Take off the color, take off the color, take off the color, take off the color. Stick with my original equation, and then I'm going to check every single one. If I look at the first one looks identical. Most likely this is the right answer. The second one, it's not identical, so it's not equivalent. The third one is not equivalent, and the fourth one is not equivalent either. So the answer choice is letter A. So I checked it, and that is the correct answer. If you look at number 11, which expression is equivalent, and you see k's, all you're going to do is change them to x's. on everything, and instead of putting the k's or the x's, the k's, you're just going to put x's. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and input this into Desmos and let Desmos do the work for us. So let me go ahead and put this one back. I'm going to go ahead and move this one right here. Well, let me go ahead and move it right here a little bit. Okay, well, I can't move it. So we're going to go ahead and you should be able to see this. Let me try to enlarge it a little. There we go. We can see it a little better. So I'm going to go ahead and input everything into Desmos and let Desmos do the work for us. The first one here. And I'm going to do this in red. Instead of k's, I'm going to put x's. So I'm going to go ahead and put x squared minus 5x minus 6. And then I'm going to input everything because I like to input every single problem to make sure that I did it correctly. I'm going to close it, open, x plus 6, closed. And what I would have done in class is I would have let you work on all these problems by yourselves, and then you would have just been checking the work with my key. But since I'm not there, I'm going to go ahead and just do the problems for you, and you can go ahead and pause the video at any time. Make sure you check your work, make sure you practice to Desmos, make sure you do the matching on the graph, and then that way you get the answer correctly. So I'm going to keep on going, open parentheses, x plus 1, close parentheses, and then I'm going to do open parentheses, x minus 2, close parentheses, open parentheses, x plus 3. And this would be the same method of matching on a lot of questions. So again, I have a real big mess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and keep the original equation, which is this one, and I'm going to just shrink it a little. Okay, it's about right here, so I see it right here, and I'm just going to match the graph. So then I'm going to check the first one. The first one is not equivalent because it's not right on top of each other. The second one is not equivalent because it's not on top of each other. The third one is right on top of each other. And the fourth one is not equivalent because it's not on top of each other. So the only one that is correct is letter C, x minus 6, x plus 1. And then I'm going to come over here and then I'm going to select my answer choice. And my answer choice is, let me go ahead and do, there we go. My answer choice was, let me go back, letter C. It is this one, and that is my correct answer choice, letter C. And this one is the same exact thing. I'm going to go ahead and input it into Desmos and let Desmos do the work. So then let me go ahead and enlarge it. Well, let me go ahead and enlarge this side right here. I'm going to input, and I'm going to change all these into x's. So the first one, I would just put x plus 5. And then instead of putting the k's or the z's, remember Desmos loves his x's. All his x's always live in Texas. So then you want to have Desmos have his x's. So every letter, A, B, C, D, is a x. Whether it being A, B, C, you put XXX. So once again, you're going to input this into Desmos. You're going to pause it, and you're going to attempt it to try to do that one. So let me go ahead and put this one back right here. There we go, and we're going to go ahead and enlarge it just a little bit so you can see it. Let me go. There we go. And we can see the letters, and then I'm going to clean up Desmos. I'm going to input the first one. So all this is a lot of inputting, so it's going to be x plus 5, closed, and then x, and if I see the right answer, then I'm going to select it because all this is just practice with the calculator. And if you can practice with the calculator, then it's better that you go and you practice it on your own. Minus 4x plus 6, and that is my original equation right here. So then I'm going to check the first one to see if it's correct, and then I'm going to check to see if it's overlapping. So it's going to be xab to the cubed space plus 5x to the square, and then I'm going to put plus 6x plus 30. So again, if you look at this one, let me just make sure I inputted everything correct. X plus 5, x squared minus 4x plus 6, and then I do this one. And this one would not be correct, because if I look at this one is not correct, this one is not correct. I do the house, they're not even overlapping. So again, this one is wrong. So this one would be wrong. So then I'm going to check the second one, and I would just leave it there just to check it. So then that way I do x squared plus x plus 11. And again, you can see x squared plus x plus 11 is wrong. So this one I would take off the color. And then I'm going to try the third one. The third one is xab to the 3 plus x squared minus 14x. Instead of z, you're putting x plus 30. So that is the correct answer. It is overlapping, and I'm not going to bother checking the third one. So the answer choice is letter C. This one is wrong. So that's how you do that one. So just in case you want to know how to do that one, that is exactly what you do. Let me shrink it a little so then that way we could see it a little better. And let me enlarge it a little. There we go. Perfect. So then the next one that I'm going to do is this one. So which statements are true about the domain and the range as part of the function shown? So the first step, you got to know what domain means. So remember, we remember dx and ry, and it is in alphabetical order. So your domain is your x and your range is your y. Here you see the domain is the x, so you're going to see your domain is 2 and the domain is 5, so it is 5 and 2. And in another color in purple, I'm going to find the range. The range is right here, 1, and the range is 8. So once again, the domain is a set of all real numbers. This one's wrong. The range is a set of all real numbers. That is wrong because we have a specific domain and range. The domain is from 2 to 5, and the only one that's 2 to 5 is this one. So this is the first answer. And the range is 1 to 8, and the only range that's 1 to 8 is the fourth one, yes. This one is wrong, it's upside down, and this one is wrong, it's upside down. So we look at number 14. 14, the function of g is defined if g of x is equal to 3x squared minus 2x minus 5, the solution. So this is just asking for your x-intercepts. That's all it's asking for. This right here will tell you this is your x-intercept. So they're looking for x-intercept, or another keyword like the Cookie Monster says is 0. So the x-intercept is the same as a 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scratch out the g of x, and I'm going to input this into decimals. So let's go ahead and input that one into decimals, and we're going to let decimals do the work for us. So the first step is to input 3x squared minus 2x minus 5, and then I'm going to find my x-intercepts on this graph. I'm going to press my house. I'm going to find my x-intercept as being 1.667 and negative 1. So automatically those are my x-intercepts and those are my answers. So I'm going to go ahead and shrink this, and automatically by looking at that, negative 1 right here, this one is wrong and this one is wrong. So the only answer choice is going to be here or here. So all I'm going to do is input these fractions right here and find out which one is 1.667. So I'm going to put in 3 divided by 5. And remember, you can press this to turn it into a fraction and a decimal, fraction and a decimal. But again, 0.67 is wrong. So that one is wrong. And then I'm going to input 5 divided by 3. And it's 1.667, and that is 1.667. The answer choice is letter B. So if I look at number 8, what are the solutions of the equation? So once again, all I'm going to do is input this into decimals, and this also gives you, this is called x-intercepts. So once again, you will find out that the x-intercept, and of course, if you want to put this and put y equals to 0 on the second one and find out where they meet, that's fine. It's still going to give you the line as the x. So all I'm going to do is input that, find my x-intercepts, and let Desmos do the work for us. So let me go ahead and move this over, and then I'm going to go ahead and clear Desmos, and I'm going to input this one. So I'm going to open parentheses. I'm going to put x plus 13. Close parentheses, open parentheses, x minus 6, close parentheses, and then I'm going to go ahead and see which one are the solutions, and then I'm going to go ahead and find my graph. Here's my graph. My x-intercept is 6, and my x-intercept is negative 13. X-intercept is 6. This is not negative 13. This is not 6. So the x-intercept is 6. And the x-intercept is negative 13. The answer choice is letter B. A is wrong, C is wrong, and D is wrong. So that is how you do that problem. Let me clean up Desmos. Remember, pause the video, try the problem on your own, and then unpause it. So let me go ahead and clean this up. This is a good one for a table practice. So once again, g of x is just a fancy word of saying y. So all you're going to do is put this table into Desmos, let Desmos do the work. Do remember that exponential function, you got to convert it to an exponential function. So once again, let me go ahead and put this back right here. And then I'm going to put the plus sign right here. I'm going to put table, and all I'm going to input is this table into this table. So it's going to be 148. It's going to be 272. It's going to be 3,108. And it's going to be 4,162. I'm going to press the leaf. And then here it says linear. It always reverts to linear. But remember, we're dealing with an exponential function. We got to convert the table to an exponential function, exponential regression. And you see that right here, it says it's 32 times 1.5x. So automatically, you can already get rid of B, and you can get rid of D. Now, how do you get 100%? Well, you convert the 1.5 raised to the x to a fraction. So you just input on number 2, 1.5. And you see this little circle, you press it, and it will give you 3/2. The only one that's 3/2 is letter C. This one is wrong. The answer choice is letter C. On number 17, which situation best represents association but not causation? Right here. So we're looking for something that is not a cause and effect. So when the number of spectators at a football game increases, a number of home team increases. So this is an opinion. The more gallons of water you put into an aquarium, the weight of the ink. It happens everywhere from Canada to the United States to Mexico to Harlingen to McAllen. So this is a cause and effect. When the amount of time athlete runs increases, a distance she runs increases, that's a cause and effect. And the charge of a cell phone battery increases, the number of phone call increases, that is also cause and effect. The only one that's an opinion, because it doesn't matter the number of spectators, you can still lose or you can still win. The answer choice is letter 17. If you look at number 18, which what is the value of m that makes the equation true? This is a very simple one. All you're going to do is put the railroad tracks in the center, and you're going to input this into Desmos number 1, and then you're going to input this into Desmos number 2. And let Desmos do the work. You're going to get a system of linear equations wherever they meet. That is going to be your answer. So I would recommend to do this one on your own and try it out and then see what you do. So then I'm going to go ahead and input this one into Desmos. It's going to be 2 divided by 3 space, open parentheses. Instead of m, I'm going to put x minus 9, close parentheses. And then on the second one, I'm going to put in 1 divided by 3, open parentheses. And I did it wrong. Why did I do it wrong? Because I forgot the space. I'm going to go ahead and put the space, and I'm going to put x minus 27, close parentheses, and that is my second one. So I'm going to go ahead and look at my graph, and I'm going to press my house, and I'm going to see where the black line and the red line meet. You see the x value, x is equal to -9, x equals to -9. The answer choice is letter A on this one. B is wrong, C is wrong, and D is wrong. So we look at number 19, which equation for G, if it's transformed. So what this is pretty much you're transforming the G of X and what you're adding to each one. So this is just another way of saying X plus 3 raised to the square minus 2. And then you would just input that one into decimals. Here you're going to multiply 2, and then you're going to open parentheses, x plus 3, and then you're going to go square, and then you're going to subtract 2. On the third one, and I would say this one would be a challenging one because then you're going to have to match the graph for the G. And here it's going to be f, you're going to subtract 3, so it's going to be x minus 3 square, and then you're going to add 2 to it, and then the last one you're going to do the same. You're going to multiply open parentheses x minus 3 square plus 2. So then what we're going to do now is we're going to input every single one of these into decimals, and whichever graph matches. This is actually a minimum. So this is an x value of -3, and the y value is -2. And you're looking for x-intercepts. I'm going to do this in red. You're looking for an x-intercept here of -4 and -2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and input this into decimals and let decimals do the work for us. So then I'm going to put this right here, and then I'm going to input this into decimals. So I'm going to input the first one, and I remember I'm looking for a minimum value of -3, -2, and remember your axis of symmetry is -3, the x value of the vertex, and again the x-intercepts are -4, -1. So you're going to input the first one, and you're going to open parentheses. You're going to put x plus 3, close parentheses, square, and then you're going to go minus 2. And then you're going to see that the vertex is -3, -2. The vertex, the x-intercept is -4. It's kind of close, and -1, not really that close, but kind of close. So we're going to see if there's anything that's closer to that. So then I would say 2, open parentheses, x plus 3. And I would say this is one of the challenging problems that I would say is here that we've given to you on the sheet. And I'm going to get rid of that one, and I'm going to check this one. Well, it's -3, -2, -4. Ooh, this one looks good. And -2. So the answer choice is letter B. C is wrong, D is wrong, and A is wrong. So for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and let you practice on C and D to make sure that they are wrong. And then I'm going to get rid of this work, so then that way you can see the graph and you can do the matchup on decimals. But the correct answer is letter B. So I'm going to go ahead and do the next one, number 20. This one, the graph has an quadratic equation. So then what we're going to do is we're going to look at the minimum. Minimum is a -2. No, actually it's a -1 is the x, and the y is a -4. So this would be a 2-point question. We have an x-intercept, just to go over. We have a -3 and a +1. So, and it's got an axis of symmetry of -1, and it's got a range of -4 going higher, and it's a minimum. So automatically the function has a minimum right here, and then the minimum, and I'm going to circle the minimum. The minimum is -4, so you would drop this -4 in here. So now we're going to read it. The function has a minimum value of -4. Minimum is correct, and it has a minimum value of -4. So that is the correct answer for that one. So the next one, I'm just going to go ahead and give you the answer to this one. It has a y-intercept, and if you want to try it on your own, you can try it on your own. And if you don't want to try it on your own, it's okay. The y-intercept, you can get a 50-50 chance because this does not have a y-intercept and this does not have a y-intercept of 2. So it is either this one or it is either this one. So the function increases at a rate of this, so it can increase like that or increase like that. It is from here and it is going to go up here, so the answer is letter C. So once again, go ahead and try it on your own and see if you get the right answer. And again, you have a 50-50 chance to get this one right. If you look at number 22 and 23, go ahead and try those on your own. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and then I will check to see how much time I have. Let me go ahead. So as we continue, we're going to go ahead and continue our math. We're going to go ahead and look at this equation. It says f of x is equal to x squared, g of x is equal to x plus 7.2. So there's two ways to do this. If you look at this right here, you can plot that one, and then you can plot this one. So the way I would plot it is this means x plus 7.2 raised to the square. That's all it means. So there's two ways to do this. You can go ahead and do it via our decimals strategy, which is going to be x plus 7.2, close parentheses, AB to the square. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that, x plus 7.2 raised to the square. And I can see my vertex is right there. But in this case, negative 7.2 is letter B. But in this specific case, I can also just put this right here. And let me do it in purple. I can just put this as a linear equation. And then that way, you could see the line passes x plus 7.2, and that also gives me the x-intercept of negative 7.2 comma 0. So that is also an extra check to make sure it is correct. So if you look at number 23, which statement about the graph of the function, so remember you cross out the h of x, you're going to plot this in, is true. So this time we are looking for a true statement. So let me go ahead and put this back. I'm going to go ahead and clear decimals, and I'm going to go ahead and input it into decimals, and it's going to be 35, open parentheses, 1.4, close parentheses, AB to the x, and this gives me my graph. I'm going to look at my graph, I'm going to press my house, and then I'm going to find my asymptote. My asymptote is going to be, of course, it's going to be 0. If you look at it, I could keep on going and going and going. Y equals to 0 because it doesn't change. So I'm going to press my house. I'm going to find my y-intercept, and my y-intercept is way up here. My y-intercept is 0, 35. And I'm going to shrink this back out. So then, which statement is true? The asymptote is not 0.5. The y-intercept is actually 0.35, so that is letter A. The x-intercept is 1.4, 0, and of course our x-intercept would probably, there would be no x-intercept at 1.4, 0. So it would have to be right here, and there's nothing there. So this one is false, and the graph of the function is decreasing for all values of x. That's false. So again, the answer choice is letter A. So if I look at number 24, the altitude of an airplane is changing, and I would recommend for you to do this on your own and then try it out and everything. So then the altitude of the airplane at a constant rate, the table shows the linear relationship between y and the altitude of the plane. So then all we do is they're asking for the altitude of the airplane is blank at a rate of blank. So this is right here your rate of change or your slope, and we're asking for it if it's increasing or decreasing in altitude. And if you look at the equation or the table as the minutes continue to go, the altitude decreases. So this is going to be a decrease. But again, how do you find out whether it's correct or whether it's wrong? I'm going to go ahead and put this back right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and find my rate of change. I'm going to put my table. And then I'm going to input the numbers, 1.5. And then I'm going to put in 2,500 or 25,500. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put 3.25 and 20,250. And then I'm going to put 6 and it's going to be 12,000. And then I'm going to press my leaf. And I'm going to get a negative, which is a decrease right here. The altitude of the airplane decreases at a rate of, you look at the rate of 3,000. That is my rate of change, the number next to the X, and that is 3,000. If you look at the next one, this one is a very interesting problem because, and let me erase it so you can see it. This is the railroad track one, so I'm going to do it in blue. Let me go ahead and get a different color here. Let me see if I can get a, no, I'll keep it like that, blue. So, oh good, I can get a different color. Let's see what color. We'll do orange. Okay, so then my railroad track will be in orange. So this will be my railroad track, and remember that I'm going to put this into 1, and this, remember, it doesn't have a letter. Like the other one had a letter, so this is the only time Desmos would like our y's. And we're going to put y equals to 75. And this is going to be part of number 2. That is how you're going to get an answer. But this is going to be an interesting problem because this means, and I'm going to rewrite 1 for you right here. Whoop, there it is. I'm going to rewrite this one for you. And then it's going to be negative 3/5, and the plus minus just means plus square root of 15, and it also means negative 3/5 minus square roots of 15. And then all you're going to do is input it into Desmos, the answer, and find out which one matches. And that's all you're going to do. So let me go ahead and clean it up. Let me go ahead and re-explain, because this one is this one will distinguish whether you get a 90 or an 80 from a 50, 60, this type of problem, because this problem will give you an extra point. So then once again, I'm going to input this one in number 1, do my railroad track, and this one on Desmos with y equals to 75 in number 2. And then I'm going to take these apart, so this means negative 3/5 plus square root of 5, and negative 3/5 minus square root of 5. This means negative 3/5 plus square root of 3, negative 3/5 minus square root of 3, and the C means negative 3 plus square root of 3, and negative 3 minus square root of 3, negative 3 plus square root of 15, and negative 3 minus square root of 15. So let me go ahead and put this back. I'm going to clean up Desmos. And I'm going to go ahead and input it. So it's going to be 5, open parentheses, x plus 3, close parentheses, square. And then the second part, I'm going to put y equals to 75. And then I should get a line. And again, I want to get a different color. So let me get a different color here. I would like orange, so I can see the line, and you can see the house. You don't see them matching, but again, you're going to find it. You can see the orange line, and then you're going to see your answers. And remember, it's the x value of where they match. So my x value is x equals to 0.87. And then I got the first one, and the second one is x equals to negative 6.87. So I'm going to I need to find one where there is an answer. So then how do I do that? Okay, so I did my graph. I already have my answers. Now I have to determine which one is the correct one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to input this one, these two together, and I'm going to input this together because it has the same type of format. So I'm going to look to see if the first one, -3 divided by 5, space, plus square root of 15. And it's 3.27. It's neither one of these answers, so that one is wrong. The next one, instead of putting square root of 15, I'm going to put square root of 3. And it's 1.13, neither one of the answers, so that one is wrong. So automatically A is wrong, B is wrong. So then I'm going to go to C, and I'm going to input the letter C. So that one's an easier input, -3. And I'm always going to put plus first, and then I'm going to put square root of 3. I'm inputting this one. Gives me -1.26. So this one is wrong already. And that gives me most likely the answer choice is letter D. But let's check it. It's -3. And instead of the 3, I'm going to put square root of 15. 0.87. That is correct. And remember that I'm going to put -3 plus square root of 15. And I'm also going to put -3 minus square root of 15. And that is -6.87. So the answer choice is letter D. This is a complicated yet easy problem. Okay, so that should take care of that one. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up Desmos, and I'm going to go ahead and continue. So we look at this one, the domain, as part of the function. So they're giving us a function, and I want to know the domain. And domain is your x value. So this is my domain. So my domain, and I'm going to do it in purple. It ranges from 4, and it goes all the way to -2. If you can see the dot, -2. And if you can see this dot, it is, well, actually it's not 4, it's actually 3. So this is -2. It's between -2 and 3. So what is the domain? The domain is your x, and all real numbers greater than -4 and 5. The numbers I'm looking for are -2 and 3. -2 and 3, this one's the only right one, so the answer is letter D. All real numbers greater than or equal to -2, yes, and less than or equal to 3, yes. So once again, I check it, and the answer is letter D. If you look at number 27, which expression is equivalent? So we're looking for something that is equivalent to this. And remember that you change everything to x and let Desmos do the work for us. Whoops, got the wrong one. Let me go ahead and put this back right here. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to input that into Desmos, and the way I would input this, and there's a lot of ways you can do this. I would say you can input it. If I do this, just a straight inputting, 16x AB to the 9th space, it's going to be x AB to the 7th, and then space divided by, it gives us this. But if it doesn't, you can also highlight it and put division like this. You can even highlight it, or you can even put it in parentheses. But again, I'm going to input 4 on the bottom, x to the AB 3, space x to the AB 14, and that gives me that one. So then I'm going to go to this one, and I'm going to input this one, this one, this one, and this one, and then check one at a time. So I'm going to input this one, and it's going to be 12 x to the AB 6 space divided by x to the AB 7. On number 3, 4 x AB looks like a 5 space, put on my glasses to make sure it is a 5. It's kind of small. No, it is a 6. Okay. So it is x, let me go back. It is going to be 6. Oh, put the 6. It even tells me I forgot my 6. Space divided by x to the AB 7. And then I'm going to put C. I'm going to put 12 x AB 3 space divided by, it's going to be x square, and the last one 4 x AB 3 space divided by x square. So then I'm going to look at the graph and I'm going to say, well, I'm going to press my house. That looks like a mess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away this one, take away this one, take away this one, take away this one. So I'm down to my original, which is this one. So I'm looking for a match. So let's try letter A. It doesn't match. It's right, not overlapping. I'm going to try letter B. There it is, the winner. Try letter C. Nope, doesn't match. Letter D doesn't match. This one is right identical, so it is equivalent for x to the 6th, x to the 7th. So I'm going to put this back, and the answer choice is letter B. So I'm going to go ahead and clean it up, clear, and I'm going to go ahead and explain 28. For quadratic function, h to, this just tells me that these are the zeros. So we're looking for zeros for -3/2 and 5. So all you're going to do is check every single one, and if it's got an x-intercept of -3/2 and 5, then it is the right answer. So the way I would handle this one is first I would convert -3/2 to a decimal. Because again, decimals is very nice with decimals. So -3 divided by 2 is -1.5. So I'm going to write that down as -1.5. So we're looking for x-intercepts of -1.5 and 5 right here. So then I'm going to check every single one of them. So then I'm going to press my house, and then I'm going to input each one. So I'm going to put, and do I have to put parentheses? I don't have to, but if you want to, you can go ahead. X plus 5. We're going to look for the x-intercept. It is -5. That is not a correct one because we're looking for an x-intercept of 5. Then I'm going to check, I'm going to take off the color, check the second one, x minus 5. The reason why I leave it is because I can always go back and check 5. That is a 5. There's one of the answers, so we're going to go ahead and drag and drop this one into this one. Does it matter which one you drag and drop? No. It's just looking for a factor. It's got to pass through the x-intercept. So I'm going to check the third one. And this is an open parentheses, 2x. Do I have to put parentheses? No, I don't have to. So I'm going to close the parentheses. I'm going to go ahead and put 1.5. That is not 1.5. That is wrong. It is -1.5. So I'm going to take off the color, and then I'm going to go 2x plus 3, close parentheses. That is -1.5, and there is our answer. So I'm going to drag and drop into that one. If I check this one's wrong, and this one is wrong. You can go ahead and check it on your own. But again, those are your two answers, those are two factors, those are two x-intercepts. All you have to do is match them. So then now we're going to get to the ducks, 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 and chickens. So the ducks, 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 and chickens are the cows or the farm animals. Remember that the triangle has the sides of this. It's a fraction, which expression represents the perimeter. The perimeter is you're going to add this plus this plus this. But in purple, I'm going to get all the chickens together. We have 3/2 x. We're going to have 3x. And we're going to have 2x. And all you're going to do is add them. So what I'm going to do in decimals is I'm just going to, instead of the x's, I'm just going to put in everything. So I'm just, and you could technically put it in with the x and then match the graphs. And that also works too. But again, it's easier just to add them. So I'm going to do 3 divided by 2 space plus 2 space, there's no space, plus 3. So this gives us that, and it gives us 6.5x. And so I have my x. I added this one plus this one plus this one into decimals, gives us 6.5. I put an x behind it. And then I'm going to go ahead, and if you look in orange, I'm going to combine the cows together. It's positive 5, a negative 1/3, and a negative 1/6. So let me clear it up. And let me just make sure. I'm just going to rewrite 6.5x. So I won't lose it. And then I'm going to add this plus this into the calculator. So I'm going to add 5, 6. Let me get this out of the way. 5 divided by 6 space plus 1 divided by 3 space minus 1 divided by 6, which is 1. So it's positive 1. And the only right one is this one. So it isn't this one, it isn't this one, and it isn't, well, it could be this one, but positive 1 would tell us it's not. Right here, wrong. So the only answer choice is letter C. And how do I convert 13/2 to a decimal? Well, I just put 13 divided by 2, and the answer is 6.5. When I press the circle, 13/2, 6.5. The answer is letter C. So that's how you do that one. You just think of these as chickens, the x's, and you add them because they're asking for perimeter. And you think of these as cows. And you can't combine chickens and cows. So again, that is the correct answer. So let's go to number 30, what is the slope of the line that passes through these points? So once again, this is an easy one to put into a table. So I'm going to go ahead and just put it into a table here so you can see it. And one of these is 10, 18. And the other part of the table is negative 5, negative 12. So then I'm going to get this into decimals, and then I'm going to get rid of that, put the table function, and then I'm going to go ahead and put what the table is. And right here it's 10, 18, and of course this is a table. So it's 10, 18, negative 5, negative 12. So it's going to be 10, 18. Let's move this out of the way. And negative 5. And negative 12. Let me go ahead and put this back to where it belongs. There you go. Did I do this one? Let me go back over here. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to press the leaf. And then I get my slope right here. My slope is y equals to 2x minus 2. And then if you underline the slope is 2. The answer is letter B. The slope, or the rate of change, is the number next to the letter, which is 2. And it's got a positive slope, and that is the only answer. The next one, if you look at number 14, this is another decimals. Remember, the factor is your x-intercepts. So we're looking for x-intercept. So all we're going to do is put this, and then you're going to plot every single one of these and find out which one passes through the x-intercept. Whichever one that passes through the x-intercept is your answer. So I'm going to get rid of this one. And I'm going to go ahead and input the rest into decimals. So it's going to be x squared positive 7x minus 30. And then I'm going to input every single one of them and then take off the color and check every single one at a time. So it's going to be x minus 10, x plus 5, and x minus 3. You get rid of this, you get rid of this, you get rid of this, you get rid of this. Try this on your own before we do it. So we're going to look at the original one. We have our x-intercept right here, and we have our x-intercept right here. Remember, we're looking for one factor, the one that passes through the x-intercept. I'm going to check the first one. Does it pass through the x-intercept? No. Does this one pass through the x-intercept? And it is no. Does this one pass through the x-intercept? And it is no. And does this one pass through the x-intercept? Yes, it passes at x-intercept 3, 0. The answer choice is letter D. So the factor is just a word for it passing through one of these x-intercepts. If it passes through the x-intercept, it is a factor. If you look at number 32, which function is equivalent? We're looking for equivalence. Remember, you get rid of the f of x, and you're going to go ahead and put this into the Desmos calculator, and you're going to see which one matches. So I'm going to get rid of this, this, and this. And then I'm going to go ahead and input, and it's going to be 4, open parentheses, x minus 3, close parentheses, square, positive 5. And then I'm going to input this one, this one, this one, this one, of course, without the f of x. Ignore it. And all I'm going to do is input it. So then I'm going to input x squared minus 96x, positive 149. And then I'm going to go 4x squared plus 41. And then I'm going to go 4x squared minus 24x, positive 41, and 16x squared minus 96x, positive 29. And then I'm going to go ahead and enlarge it. I'm going to look at the house right here, press at the house, and then I'm going to get rid of all of them, and I'm going to just look at the original. So if I look at the original right here, this is my original. I'm going to check the first one. Is it equivalent? No. Is the second one equivalent? It's not there. It might be equivalent. Try the third one. Oh, there it is. Third is equivalent. The fourth one, not even close. If you look at the second one, you can't see it, so you have to find it. Press my house again. I'm going to decrease it. There it is. It's way up there. So would this one be equivalent? Nope. The only one that would be equivalent is letter C, and that is your answer choice for this one. So let me go ahead and put this back. And this one is going to be letter C. Okay, so we're going to skip number 33. We're going to go to number 34. 34 is a good one because it's a system. It's going to be a system of linear equations. It's one of those where you draw a line. You don't have to put y equals because why? Because you don't have to. Because you're looking at this and it's got letters on both sides. The only thing that you will have to do is put this on side number 1 and this on side number 2. And remember, Desmos X's lives in Texas, so you're going to put a happy face. Desmos likes X's, so he can only accept X's into his calculator. So we're going to go ahead and put that there. We're going to go ahead and put this back to normal. It's going to be this one right here. And we're going to get rid of this, clean it up. And instead of W's, you're going to put X's. This is a very, very prime example of where you can just convert them into X's. So it's 7x minus 2, open parentheses, x minus 9, close parentheses. And then on the second one, we're going to do 4 minus 8, open parentheses, x plus 2, close parentheses. So you have your first side, you have your second side. Now you're going to find out where they meet. You're going to press a house. Where do they meet? They meet about right there. You're going to check x equals to negative 2.307. by looking at where they meet. So now all you're going to do is figure out which one is the correct answer. You're going to check the first one, negative 26 divided by 9. Negative 2.88. This one is wrong. You're going to check the third one. The second one, negative 10 divided by 9. Negative 1.1. That one is wrong. You're going to check the third one, 15 divided by 13. It's 1.15, plus it's positive. That one is wrong. And then I'm going to check the fourth one, and it's going to be negative 30 divided by 13, and it's negative 2.30. So again, negative 2.30 is the correct answer, and it's going to be letter D. If you look at number 35, so let's clean up decimals so you can be ready to go. Number 35 is which two factors? Remember, factors keyword is it passes through the x-intercept. So we're looking for choose two factors that will create the expression. Move the correct answer to each box and use it. Okay. So then all you're going to do is you're going to input this into decimals, and then you're going to check every single one of these, and whichever one passes through the x-intercept is your answer. So let me go ahead and put this back. I'm going to input this into decimals, 4x squared minus 81. And here's my x-intercept, and this is my x-intercept. So I'm going to choose the ones that pass through the x-intercept, which is this one or this one. So let's check the first one. We have 9x minus 2. That one doesn't even come close to passing through the x-intercept. That one is wrong. So I'm going to take out the color. I check the next one, 2x, and I would be trying this on your own. It passes straight through the x-intercept, so that one is a factor. So we're going to drag and drop this one down here. Doesn't matter which order. No. Then you're going to try the third one. You're going to do 4x minus 9. That one doesn't pass through my x-intercept. That one is wrong. And letter D, the next one, you're going to input the next one. So I'm going to input 9x, positive 2. That one doesn't pass through the x-intercept. That one is wrong. And the next one, take off the color, and then I'm going to put in 2x plus 9. There's another one passes straight through the x-intercept, so I'm going to grab this one, and I'm going to drag and drop it to there, and those are my two answers. And I would go ahead and also check that one, but we know it's not going to be an x-intercept. The next one, 36, if f of x is equal to 3x squared minus 7, what is the value of f of 4? Remember, the x is 4. Right here. So all you're going to do in place of this is put in place of their 4. You're going to scratch out the f of x, and we're going to focus our attention on this. So if you look at the orange, in place of this little x right here, I'm going to put 4. So what I'm going to do is clean up decimals and let decimals do the work. I'm just going to input 3. I would put the x would be 4, so I'm going to put times 4 to the square minus 7, and the answer is 41, letter C. So that is how you check it on the decimals calculator. If you keep on going to number 37, which expression is a factor? So we're looking for a factor of this expression. So the first step is you would input this into decimals, and then you're going to input this one, and this one. And remember, a factor has to pass through the x-intercept. It's got to pass through that x-intercept. If it doesn't pass through the x-intercept, then it's not a factor. So let me go ahead and put this back. Let's put it into decimals. And of course, all these r's, don't worry about the r's. You're just going to put x's. So you're going to put 9x squared minus 4x plus 1. And already we can see that this one doesn't even pass through the x-intercept. So if you look at it, the vertex is right here. It does nowhere does it pass through the x-intercept. So this one is an easy one. You can try and try and try, but there's not going to be one that's going to pass through an x-intercept because it has no intercept. So there are no real factors. The answer is J. You can go ahead and try them, but this one that has no x-intercept, this is a quadratic that has 0 x-intercept. So this one is wrong, this one is wrong, and this one is wrong. If you look at number 38, the athlete runs 12 seconds. It's a linear function, which represents a distance in yards and miles. Okay, what is the domain? So first of all, the domain is your x, dx. Domain is your x, so you're going to circle this x. So the domain is, and I'm going to do it in purple, the domain starts right here at the 0, and it goes all the way to the 12. So the domain is from 0 to 12. So already we know this one is wrong. 0 to 110, no. 0 to 100, no. So the answer is 0 less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 12, which is this reasonable range. If you look at number 39, and I want you to see number 39, because this one's an interesting one. 39, what is the value of the y-intercept? So that's all they're asking for. This is an easy one. The x-intercept is 3, and the y-intercept is -2. So the y-intercept, what is the value of the y-intercept? -2. Very easy with the y-intercept because it crosses the y-axis. If you look at number 40, the table represents some points in the graph of a linear function. Which function best represents a relationship? So you can go ahead and graph this table, and then you can go ahead and graph these and figure out which one matches, which graph is identical. So once again, let me go ahead and put this down. Let me go ahead and put this into a table. You're going to push the plus sign. You're going to put table, and you're going to just input -4, comma 10, -2, comma 7, so as we continue, we're going to continue inputting it into a table, 6, comma -5, and you're going to go ahead and graph it. And just by looking at this, we know the equation right here is -1.5, and that's an easy one to turn into a fraction. You put in -1.5, you press this little circle, and it turns it into a fraction, -3/2. So the answer is negative y equals to -1.5 x plus 4 by looking at the equation right here. And if you look at -1.5, that is -3/2. And you're looking at this, and this is wrong. And the only answer is letter A, -3/2 x plus 4. If you look at number 40, and we're going to look at number 40. Let me go ahead and clean up decimals. Let me go ahead and do this one. The water level of the tank is a constant rate. Complete the answer choices. The water level is blank at a rate of blank. So then right here, we're looking at the coordinate here, and the x value is 0, and the y value is 9. This right here is that coordinate. That is your y-intercept. Then you're going to look for another one that's kind of close. And the only one that's kind of close is this one right here. If you can see in purple, I'm going to go ahead and put the coordinate. The x value is 4. And the y value is 8. And this is easy to have two coordinates because then you can put it into a table. But let's see if we can answer some of the questions. The water level blank at a rate of blank. This is your rate of change. And the water level is decreasing. So I would just drag and drop in here at a rate of something. So again, I'm going to go ahead and put this into the decimals calculator and let decimals do the work for us. it's going to be 0, 9 and 4, 8. I'm going to go ahead and graph. Then negative 0.25 is your rate of change. So this would be 0.25, and the answer I would drag and drop is 0.25 at a rate of change because it's already decreasing right here. So that is how you do that one. Let me go ahead and clean up Desmos, and let's look at the next problem. The next problem we are facing is 42. It's another matching. So we have our graph. We're going to go ahead and look at the points. The points are -1, the vertex, comma, -4. And then we're going to circle your x-intercepts of 1 and -3. 1 and -3. And of course your y-intercept is about right here. And the axis of symmetry is -1. So the way I would handle this one is I would get rid of all these h of x's. And what I would do is I would input this one, this one, this one, and this one, and whichever one matches is your answer. So I'm going to go ahead and get on Desmos and let Desmos do the work for us. So I'm going to go ahead and input x squared positive 2x minus 3, x squared minus 2x minus 3, x squared minus 4x plus 3, x squared minus 4x plus 3. I'm going to go ahead and look at these, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to go ahead and clean it up. So I'm looking for a minimum point of -1, -4. So I'm going to look to see if this one has a minimum point. I'm going to go ahead and see it right here, -1, -4, yes. Y-intercept of -3, yes. And y-intercept of 1, yes. So the answer is letter A. But let's check the other ones. This one is on the opposite side. That one's wrong. This one is on the opposite side. That one is wrong. And this one is on the opposite side. That one is wrong. So this one's an easy one where you can already see without having to do the points. But I would still do the points just to make sure it's on the correct side. It's got the correct x-intercepts. It's got the correct y-intercept. And the y-intercept is 0, -3. If you look at number 43, which is a factor, that's another one that's an x-intercept. So what we're going to do is identify that this is the x-intercept. It's got to pass through the x-intercept. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the problem, and you're going to go ahead and do the try it out. So we're going to find one that passes through the x-intercept. It's going to be, let me clear that, 30x squared minus 4x minus 16, and I'm going to input each one so I can get them out of the way. 3x minus 2, 5x minus 4, 3x minus 4. So I have A, B, C, D. Get rid of that, get my original. I want to enlarge it so I can see it. And now remember my x-intercepts are right here and right here. So I'm looking for a factor. I'm looking for something that passes through the x-intercepts. So I'm going to check the first one. Doesn't pass. Close, but not the cookie enough. So the second one, nope. The third one, there it is. And the fourth one, nope. So the answer choice is letter C. So that is how you do that one. If we look at the next one, all you're going to do is input everything into X's and match the graph on number 44. Let me go ahead and shrink it a little. So there we go. So let me go ahead and do this one where you can't really see it. See if I can move this. Try to shrink it a little more. There you go. Right there, I'll increase it. Okay, perfect. So then let me increase it here. Okay. Not too big. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to input this and I'm going to check to see which one is the correct one. And then for the sake of time, I'm going to tell you which is the correct one. And all I know is this one's wrong, this one's wrong. So let me just give you the answer. This one is going to be negative 4h cubed. So this one is letter F. And again, I want to check the work. Remember, it's going to be matching. You got to match every single item and you got to change them all into X's. If you look at number 45, 45 will be a good one. Remember, this is the X and this is the Y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into a table and I would just put those numbers in. I wouldn't worry about abbreviating them or anything. I would put in 19 and then I would put 2012, 51. Then I would go 2013, 89. Whoops, forgot to skip. 2014, 66, 2016, 74, 2017, 11. So then I'm going to push my leaf and I'm going to get it's a negative. So we know they're going to be negative, all of them. So let me go ahead and see if I can increase a little. Too big, right there. Perfect. So then right here, it's going to be a negative. We're going to look at the statistics. It's 0.09. The correlation factor is a negative, so it's going to be this one, negative 0.09 right here, or this one. So we're going to determine that this one is wrong, this one is wrong, so we got to determine whether it's a weak or it's a strong. You look at the number, closer to 0 is very weak, closer to 1, you're looking at 9 cents. So you are going to look at a weak negative with correlation factor of negative 0.09, which is that one. The next one we're looking at is just a matching. So I would recommend for you to just change everything into X's and let Desmos do the work on this one. And let me go ahead and see what the answer is. So then that way I can give you the correct answer and go ahead and try that one out, see which one you get. It would be either this one or this one. It's letter A. 47, I would recommend for you to try that one out. Let me give you some time. You work it. And all you would do on this one is put in square root of 96. And then I wouldn't, because it's a decimal. This one is probably wrong. This one is wrong. So it would be 8 square roots of 6. Not close. So the correct answer is this one, but I want to be sure that is 100% square root of 6. The answer is letter D. If you look at 48, 48. You can go ahead and look at 48 as part of the function. They're asking for the range. Remember, the range is your y. So we're going to look at the y being 2. We're going to look at the y being -4. So it's between, the range is a set of all real numbers between -4 and 2, or vice versa. But remember, this doesn't include -4. So it's going to be probably a less than. And this one, well, this one would be, sorry, the other way around. It would be a greater than, and this would be a less than, with a little symbol on the bottom, which is a little equal right there. So it would be the equal, less than or equal, and greater than. And this would be the range. But without the question, it's just a concept here. Okay, next one that we're going to do is number 49. This one's an easy one. You would just plot that into decimals, and you would find your zeros. They're asking for zeros. 0 is your x-intercept. So that is your x-intercept. So then once again, you're just going to plot this, and let well, not really plot this. You would just plot this, and then find the x-intercept. So then let me go ahead and plot it for you. 4x squared minus 36x plus 81. Press my house. It only has one zero, 4.5. This one has two zeros, wrong, wrong, wrong. This one only has one zero. And then all I would do is put 9 divided by 2, and that's 4.5, letter D. If you look at 50, which equation is the asymptote? So remember the asymptote, all you would do is plot this one and find the asymptote. You would just plot this one onto decimals, 16, open parentheses, 0.75, close parentheses, AB to the X. And then right here we have the asymptote where the chicken doesn't cross the fence. And you look at the chicken, it's never changes as y equals to 0. So the answer is y. You'll drag and drop here, equals to 0. Then you would drag and drop here. And that's how you would handle that one. If you look at 51, let's look at 51. I'm going to go ahead and just enlarge it a little. Let's see if we can enlarge it. There we go. If you look at 51, all it is a matter of matching. This right here is matching. So then the way I would do this is put x, AB to the 3 divided by 7. And then I would do the space. And then I would do the space. And then I would pretty much, I forgot my parentheses. I'm going to add my parentheses here. And then I'm going to close my parentheses here. And then I'm going to raise it to the square. And that is my graph. So then I'm going to put in every single one and see which one is the correct answer. So then I'm going to put in x, AB to the 6 divided by 14, x to the AB, and I would try this on your own, try to get the answer, divided by 7, x to the AB, 6 divided by 7, x to the AB, 5 divided by 7. So, look at this. It's a mess. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all these colors. This is my original. I forgot to get rid of this one. This is my original one, so I'm looking for one that matches. I checked the first one. Doesn't match. The second one doesn't match. The third one matches. The fourth one doesn't match. So the answer is letter C on this one. If you look at 52, Which statement about the function, and once again, you're going to get rid of the n of x, is true? We're going to be talking about domain and range. Remember, the domain is your x, and the range is your y. So we're going to first see what it gives us. So then I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to input this. So I'm going to put in 5x squared minus 20x positive 12. Have my x-intercepts, I have my vertex, but that's not what we're asking. We're looking at the range being -8, so it's -8. If you look at the domain is all real numbers, so this one is not all real numbers, so this one is wrong. Remember, the domain on these are all real numbers because they expand forever both ways. This one is also wrong because it is not all real numbers, so it's between range. So we're going to look at the range, and the range is -8. The only one that's -8 is letter B. So that one should take care of that one. And then if we go to 54, we're going to look at number 54, and we're going to say which statement is true about this one. It's another domain and range problem. So again, I'm going to skip that one because you're just going to plot this, and you're going to figure out what the domain and range is for this one. Same thing for this one. You're just going to plot this and figure out which one passes the x-intercepts because they're asking for something that's equal. So you're looking at this to be equal with this. So you're going to plot this, you're going to plot this, you're going to plot that, and whichever one has the same graph will be the correct answer. So all you do is change everything to x's, and that one will give you the right answer. If you look at 55, which expression is equivalent, you would plot this one, and then you would plot every single one and find out which one is correct. So let me go back and try to do these, so then that way you can at least get the right answers. I would pause the video, try them out, and then go ahead and go from there. But because of time, I'm going to have to move on because we're running out of a little time. Okay, which expression is equivalent? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this right here. And I'm going to plot this one, and it's going to be 12x squared. I'm going to go a little bit fast through this, 48x, because it's just a matter of matching, plus 48. And I'm going to match them on the run. So it's going to be 12, open parentheses. I'm going to put x minus 2, close parentheses, square. And then I'm going to take this one out. It is matching, so this is a right one. And from what I remember, I think it's the last one. So let me go do the next one. I know -12, open parentheses, x squared plus 4x plus 4. That one is not matching, so I'm going to take this one out. This one is wrong. Let me go and put in the next one, 12, open parentheses, x minus 4, close parentheses, open parentheses, x minus 1, close parentheses, that one's not matching, this one's wrong. -12, open parentheses, x plus 2, to the second, not matching, this was wrong, so the answer is the last one. And then since I went ahead and did the problem, let me go ahead and just input it since I already went this far. X squared minus 4x positive 4 closed, and yes, they all match. Match and match. So it's this one, the first one, and the last one. If you look at the graph on this one, and I'm going to shrink it a little. This one I'm not going to input into Desmos because this one is just knowing the graph of the quadratic is shown which statement is true. So we're looking at x-intercepts right here, -1 and 3. You're looking at a y-intercept about here. You're looking at a maximum of of, let me write it down, x is 1 and y is 4. So there's 3 false. The function has 3 zeros. No, that's false because it has 2 x-intercepts. The maximum value is 3. Let me go to maximum value is 3. That's false because the maximum value is 4. The vertex of the graph of the function is 4, 1. The function, nope, it's upside down. Wrong. The equation has an axis symmetry of x equals 1. The axis symmetry is the x value of the vertex, which is 1. And that is the correct one. That is correct. Letter D. If you look at 57, I'm just going to take you through some of these. 57, which equation matches this? So I'm going to go ahead and just give you the answer. I believe it's the last one. And you try it on your own, and you get the right answer. So square root of 600 and 25 square roots of 4, 24. Nope, it's not the last one. Let me check the other ones. So it's going to be, let me try 6 square root of 10. Nope, not the first one. Try the next one. 10 square roots of 6. Whoops, forgot to back. 10 square roots of 6. There it is, 10 square roots of 6. It's letter B. 48 is just matching the graph with these equations. So I'm not going to do that one. 59, I'm going to do this one because it is a simple one, the line graph. This is a undefined slope. Remember ski dude when he goes up? Positive. Nice negative. 0 fun. He falls off the cliff. It's undefined. His worst curse word that he says undefined. It can be letter A and D. Wrong. X is -4 or Y is -4. You find out where it passes through. It passes through X is -4. The answer is letter A. And the last problem, this one's an easy one. Which line contains the points -2, -2, and 4, 2? All you can do here is do a table. And let me go ahead and put it back where it belongs, right here. This one's an easy one for table. So I'm going to do a table, and I'm going to put -2, -2. Four, 2. We're going to press the leaf. Slope is 0.6666667x. So then all you're going to do here is you're going to go ahead and find the slope. And we know it's a positive, so automatically this one's wrong and this one's wrong. It's between 3/2 or 2/3. So I'll do 3 divided by 2. It's 1.5. Wrong. And then you're going to do 2 divided by 3. 0.667, letter C. Okay, so once again, this was a crash course into question prep 1 through 60. What I recommend for you to do is just pause the video and then check the answer, pause the video, check the answer, pause the video, and check the answer. Or pause the video and then try the problem and then check the answer. So I hope this has helped. This has been question 1 through 60 that will support you. This was part of our review on Saturday, but this is a more extended review. So hopefully this has helped you and supported you. Have a great day and appreciate all your hard work on everything that you're doing to get the best score that you can on the math assessment, on the STAAR end of course. Thank you.